today's episode of Beyond Borders, we have the privilege of hosting Jonah, the CEO of Daoversal. Jonah's journey in the world of blockchain and technology began during his studies in electronic technology at LWTech. With a background in electronics manufacturing and digital applications, he ventured into an intricate realm of network infrastructures used in real-life scenarios. Under Jonah's leadership, Daoversal is shaping the future of Web3 social platforms, empowering creators to harness their creativity and collaborate with brands. Their vision aligns with the evolving landscape of Web3 and the Metaverse, offering exciting opportunities for creators and brands to explore digital assets and engage with a new generation of users. Hi, Jonah. Welcome to the podcast. I like to start with humble beginnings, and your journey into the blockchain and technology world began during your electronic technology studies way back. So could you share your early exposure that shaped the perspective and brought you to this world of blockchain and Web3?
Thank you for having me here today. It's quite interesting. I think my primary introduction into blockchain technology, like you mentioned, started when I was studying electronics technology, and just the combination of designing, I think, new circuits or designing different types of electronic components, and going through that journey, I was able to actually put a little bit of my time away from studies into Twitter, and crypto Twitter kind of sucked me in. So that was actually the initial start to my journey. I think I remember a few of my friends talking about how they purchased Litecoin, and Litecoin was going to go up. They said
back
to the
in
moon.
Those days.
And I kind of didn't believe it. I was skeptical. I was like, okay, we'll see. I'll just sit on the sidelines, and sure enough, it just went up, and I was extremely shocked because not only were they able to predict market trends, or maybe they were just lucky, but that kind of seeing that kind of momentum and how everyone was getting behind it kind of sucked me in, and I just continued down that path. And I think shortly after, within approximately 4 or 5 months, I actually joined a project called Lindacoin. That was the first project I joined in 2017. And that journey was amazing because we got to see a lot of success behind me coming on and helping them support with new technologies coming out, such as what I think it was the first iOS masternode staking application that we designed.
And cut to today, where Daoversal is working on a Web3 social platform that bridges creators and brands. So can you tell us a little bit more about how it empowers creators and how they can monetize their passions in this digital age?
Okay, yeah. So in terms of monetization on Daoversal platform, I think it goes with a cross between the actual advertising of your planet, being able to actually attract a larger community if you don't already have one, or if you do have one, you can monetize on that by inviting your community members to actually join your planet.
So I can have a planet in Daoversal. So can you tell us about what is the journey? How do I own a planet? I really want to. We're launching Luke's Verse, so probably launch it on your planet. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, so you can own your own planet, and from there, then you can kind of have your community start to purchase land on there. And as you continue down the path, you'll see that you'll be able to actually start building infrastructure, such as maybe a downtown for your planet, or unique buildings, and you can actually design those buildings and implement them using our SDK. So that's another way that you can monetize, because now not only can you build and design your own buildings, but you can actually sell them to other people if they're
right, and also lease them out for events, and there are so many things that can be done, right?
The possibilities are endless.
So do you have a planet?
I do. I have a few planets, actually.
Wow. What are they called?
One of them is actually just called Daoversal Beta.
Okay.
I think that's pretty standard being the CEO, but we just really want to allow people to get some early access, beta test some of the new technology that we're releasing, and try and find any bugs, and actually stress test it to ensure that, when we do have the final product, that it comes out and it's viable.
The Web3 and the Metaverse world is rapidly evolving, and it's opening new avenues for conscious consumerism and digital assets in terms of NFTs or whatever you want to call them. But how do you envision this transformation impacting the creators and the brands? What unique opportunities does this world present?
I think the biggest thing is that, we solved an issue with scalability. So in terms of impact, like, I like to think that Daoversal is taking it a step further compared to some of our competitors. So I'll take a step back. With Sandbox, you can buy plots of land. And this was really popular in like 2021, 2022. And we noticed that a lot of like NFT projects were purchasing these plots of land. And they were advertising their brand, and they were saying, come into the metaverse, come visit our space. Yeah. But this kind of like was bottlenecked because they could not actually provide the scalability. So once you purchase this land, like, you couldn't support a community of like 5,000 community members that own these NFTs.
True.
It just wasn't enough space. So we thought that, giving each individual company, creator, or influencer their own planet, now you can actually scale with the size of your community, and you can provide support for everyone to actually engage on your planet and come visit. So this is one of the main things we wanted to focus on.
Right. And technically it's on one of the blockchain technologies, right? Like, the base is.
So right now we actually are running primarily our tokens just through like ERC20, and then we have a bridge to BSC20.
Okay.
And then, we do accept alternate currencies for people to be able to purchase these planets. Right. The planets aren't NFTs yet, but we hope to have that out very soon, just because we're seeing which chain we really want to be on.
Right. And also, Daoversal's mission is to connect creators and brands in the Web3 landscape. But could you share some success stories or examples of how this collaboration can probably turn out, and what is your vision with it?
Yeah, so we've noticed that like a lot of companies are just like secretly buying planets, and we go through the galaxy and we find there's a new company that's purchased a planet. But I think in terms of like the real success stories comes from like the influencers, because maybe they have a larger audience on Twitter or their own community in Telegram. These people seem to be able to actually rally and get a lot of community support from
from all the followers that they have.
Yeah. So I think we actually had a land competition, and one of the biggest influencers we have, Dee, she actually sold, I think, approximately like 300 pieces of land up to now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what are these priced at?
It ranges. I think they normally, like, depending on which planet, it can change. So we have 3 different types of planets that we're offering right now. The first one being the Stone Age, which is $100 to, or sorry, $10 to $100, depending on the barrier of entry. But really,
and
if
that's
someone
sold out.
Yeah, they actually sold out. All the planets sold out.
Yeah.
And then we have another one, which is the Bronze Age, and that land ranges anywhere from 100 to 300. And then we also have the Iron Age, which is 300 to 500. So it really depends on like which planet you're purchasing.
So then anyone and everyone who wants to be there can be there basis their budgets, right? So it's very inclusive in a way. That's amazing. And but then still the Web3 space is dynamic and it's ever changing. So what technological trends or developments do you foresee in the coming years that will significantly impact this space? Meta launched something very recently with their device, which is like mixed reality. Apple Vision Pro is also there. What do you think inclusions and hardware optimization would help the space better?
I think hardware devices like that new Apple VR is amazing to have. I wish the price was a little bit lower.
It's fine for developers. I mean, to replace their computers probably, but I think it's not a mass price point, right?
It's like, I would like to say, one of those luxury things you can have, because I mean,
probably
VR headsets, they range in prices. So we do provide VR support where people then can immerse themselves in the full Daoversal experience. But we make it playable for just like pretty much everyone.
Every device.
Yeah. So whether you're on a laptop with maybe not that much, RAM, but can still actually enjoy the Daoversal experience, all the way up to people that, actually have like the full gaming computer set up.
Right.
You can increase the settings or the graphics through our settings, and then you can have a more immersive experience. And that's really been our focus, is right, like to actually make it playable for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's where you are different from the other metaverses or whatever competitors that are there in the market, where accessibility is an issue and community building gets affected because of that reason, right? But as we I would like to conclude, because it's been such an interesting conversation, and there are so many, and we're all in the nascent stage, right? We're all experimenting, we're all getting to know what this space is. Nobody knows exactly what the future is going to be, but still, I would like to know, what is your vision? See, after 5 years, probably this is what we'd be doing in the metaverse.
Yeah, I think in 5 years, we'll be able to, take a lot of the things that we do, like here, like for example, this podcast, and probably have it in the digital world.
Oh yeah, I'm planning to do that.
But I think as a whole, in terms of the industry, the metaverse industry, and also like cryptocurrency, I think that it will increase adoption, and we will see, a lot of new players in the space, whether it is actual like institutions, or we're seeing, more larger Wall Street based companies actually get involved with cryptocurrency. I would like to see that, but in terms of
when big players invest money or become a part of it is when the whole change would happen, right? It will trickle down to, and mass adoption also again will only happen when that happens. So let's hope for it. It's been an amazing conversation, and as we conclude this episode, what would your advice be? What to aspiring entrepreneurs and who are just entering this space probably in the Web3 and the Metaverse landscape? What are the key takeaways that our listeners can have from your journey?
I would just say the biggest advice I would give is enjoy the process, because as a startup you have a lot of stress with you're developing a viable product, and also the community building side of things. But I want to reiterate that we're in necessarily what we call a bear market, and all of the hard work that you do during these times usually shines during those next bull runs that we have,
right.
And it makes it all worth it. So just buckle up and just keep grinding. I think it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonah, for sharing your insights and shedding light on this exciting development in the Web3 and the Metaverse space. Daoversal is amazing, and I'm definitely going to check out and buy a planet. To all our listeners, stay tuned for more engaging conversations on Beyond Borders podcast. We explore the frontiers of technology, design, and innovation on this podcast, along with luxury and design. Stay tuned for the next episode.